is Jenny Lauren Dowden for Conduit News. Today we have Jennifer Lancaster joining us. She's president of the Saline County Republican Women Committee, here to talk to us today about the upcoming Constitution Camp. Hey, Jennifer.
Hi, Jenny. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. We always love having you join Conduit. You all in Saline County have so much going on. There are several things that I want to talk to you about today. But first, talk to us about Constitution Camp. I know that it's coming up very soon, in just a matter of a few days. Talk to us about that camp, what it is, and how it came to be.
Okay. Yes. So it starts this coming Monday on July 24th, and it goes through July 28th, which is next Friday. This is our third year doing this, and it's going to be our best year yet. Every year has been great, but we're really excited about this year. We have more kids than ever, more volunteers than ever, which is wonderful, and some really awesome speakers. So this camp was inspired by really my kids. In addition to being an attorney, I'm also a homeschool mom, so I'm always looking for creative ways to teach my kids about just academics, but of course, history and the importance of being engaged in civics in our county and just the community. So that is really what inspired this camp. And so this camp is for 2nd through 9th grade kids. And a lot of the kids who have attended in years past but have aged out are now returning as volunteers. And they've even told us it's because they've had such a great time. So the camp, it's a lot of fun, but we do talk about some heavy things such as Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, and Montesquieu. So Thomas Hobbes, he is introduced, all three of those characters actually are introduced on the first day through a skit. And Thomas Hobbes was the author of Leviathan. Leviathan, we first read about in the Bible. It's a big sea creature. So we have one of those inflatable T-Rexes come running through as our Thomas Hobbes is on stage talking about his book, Leviathan. And so that's how the kids get this, I understand this concept that human is like a dinosaur, and the more you feed it, the bigger it becomes and the more destructive it becomes. So you don't want to continue feeding it that power, because it just becomes uncontrollable and unmanageable at some point. So then we move on to John Locke. Oh, and let me go back to Thomas Hobbes for a moment, because he introduces the concept of natural rights. So the kids learn from day one that our rights are given to us from God. They are not gifts from the government. They are not given to us by even the Constitution. The Constitution itself is a restraint on the government from infringing on our rights. So the kids understand that we have natural rights given to us by God. Then we move on to John Locke, and we learn about a social contract. And so that the proper role of government is an agreement among the people and the government institution that they are to protect our rights. That is the proper role of government. And then we move on to Montesquieu, and the kids learn about the tripartite system of government and the necessity for checks and balances. And so all of those are introduced within about the first 15 minutes through a hilarious skit. And some of the kids even participate in the skit. And so we do that. We have dance-offs where the kids earn stickers and ice cream coupons to Sonic and things like that. We also do a lot of arts and crafts, and they tie the concepts together. So that's what we do. I teach the lessons, and the lessons, they're not lecture style. I do explain concepts, but then they're reinforced by funny music videos about these historical concepts. And then we'll even go through the Declaration of Independence and see how Christian principles were woven into our founding documents, because it's so important that the kids learn that we are a Christian nation. Despite what the world is telling them, we are a Christian nation founded on Christian principles. And it is because of those principles that we became a shining city on a hill.
That's awesome, Jennifer. As you were talking about these different things and what you're going to do, I thought probably some adults need to sign up for Constitution Camp as well, simply because these types of things really aren't taught that much or in depth anymore in our government schools.
That's true. And so this is a way, if your kids go to public school, this is a way to supplement their education and make sure that they are exposed to the truth of our nation's history. And I will tell you, most of our kids are homeschool kids. And so we have over 100 kids that attend. We're expecting 110 to 120, maybe more this year. And it's just a great, fun way to reinforce these very important concepts. And we encourage the kids to say things like, like my God-given rights, not my
Yeah.
constitutional rights, because it's just, that's inaccurate. And then they learn about the Bill of Rights. We even talk about the Federalist versus the Anti-Federalist, and in a fun way again, so the kids
Yeah.
understand how the Bill of Rights came about.
That's awesome. Okay, talk to us about the speakers. You mentioned that there will be a number of speakers who will be there throughout the week.
Yes, we have some great speakers lined up. So we have our Saline County Sheriff. He is coming on day one. And then we have a Justice of the Peace, Clint Chisholm, who has been a real force for good in the battle with the local library against trying to get them to remove the pornographic material from the children's section. He has been a very staunch ally in that. So we're excited about having him. We also have Attorney General Tim Griffin coming. We have former Governor Mike Huckabee. We have a candidate for Republican Party of Arkansas Chair Sarah Dunklin, and we also have Justice Barbara Webb coming, and she's going to be doing the funny skit that we have done the last 2 years, and the kids just get a kick out of it. We do a skit where she's charged with wearing her robe backwards. And there's a hilarious trial that in years past has been performed by me and my husband. He's also
oh my gosh.
And then the kids have to decide if she is guilty or not guilty. And for 2 years now, I have lost as the prosecutor, and the kids have sided with Justice Webb and found that she is not guilty. So we'll see what happens now in year 3.
That's awesome. Well, so you mentioned that it's starting on the 24th, which is in just a few days. How can people still sign up? Give us the website and what they need to do if they want to register.
Okay, yes, it's go to treeoflibertyar.com and you can register. Registration is only $35. The registration fees are waived for kids that are in foster care, military families, and mission families. So they will just need to reach out to me directly and I can provide them with that code. But yes, $35 for the entire week. Snacks are provided, arts and crafts, all the supplies are provided. And so that's really all they're going to have to do. It is from 9 to noon each day. And I should probably mention on the final day, we deviate our schedule a little bit because we go to the Capitol first thing. So all the families will go to the Capitol for a tour of the grounds. They will also get to go and hold their $500,000 and get their picture taken in the treasurer's office. And then we return back to the location for a Celebrate America party. And we're going to have snow cones, a dunking booth. We're going to have water slides and a bounce house and Big Papa Bubbles, which is always a big hit. He brings the massive bubble nets.
Wow.
And just have a great time. It's a great time for a fellowship among like-minded Christian conservatives.
It sounds like a wonderful time. I know that it will be. So it's interesting to me that this camp has drawn such criticism from those on the left. Why do you think that is? What would you say to those critics?
Well, they're of course bothered because anytime that you mention Christianity or our founding fathers in a positive way, sadly, the left just becomes they go on offense and they start attacking folks. But it's inaccurate, it's unfair, and it's certainly unfair to the children that need to know what the truth is. America is the greatest nation that has ever existed. We're considered the great experiment, and the kids need to know how that great experiment came to be the most respected country in the world and the greatest force for good the world has ever known. And it's all because our country was founded on Christian principles. President John Adams said that our nation is only compatible for a moral and religious people, and it is wholly incompatible for any other. Kids need to know that. Parents need to know that. There's a reason why we are seeing such a loss of our freedoms at a rapid rate, and it's because we turned our back on God and the principles espoused in the Bible. So until we can turn our face back to God, really what this nation needs is a revival. But until we turn back to God, only then will we start regaining our freedoms. And the way that we're going to do that is, as Christians, we're going to have to stand up and speak boldly and take those slings and arrows and not back down and just keep on moving forward. Link arms with fellow like-minded Christian conservatives and keep standing up for good. And when they call you all the names, I promise I've been called everything. There's nothing you can come up with that I have not been called at this point. And you just have to let it go. It's not the end of the world. It's just words. And I tell people, even live my life for my kids. I live it for God. And when you live it for God and you apply your decision making to the framework provided in the Bible, things become very simple. Not necessarily easy, but simple. Is it true? Is it good? Does it bring glory to the kingdom? And that's really what we should be looking at. And I know there are a lot of people that think like I do. We just need to become more vocal.
Well, there in Saline County, y'all really have become more vocal and taking the slings and arrows. Talk to us, just give us a very brief update on what's been happening there in Saline County lately regarding the books, what the Republican women and the Republican county committees have been up to lately.
I am so proud of our county committee and our Republican women. We work together. We have a lot of people that are members of both. Of course, as the women's group, our men are associate members, but they show up to our meetings and we all just work together, and it's a really awesome thing to see. So yes, as you mentioned, the books, that has been an ongoing battle that has drawn a lot of attention. Some of our ladies found some pornographic material in the children's section, and we brought it to the JPs, the Justice of the Peace. We brought it to their attention, asked them to do something about it. As you know, and we've discussed in the past, there was an act that went into its law, and it was passed this legislative session that criminalizes anyone, including librarians, that put pornographic material in the children's section, making it readily available to them. Yeah. So when we discovered it, when we discovered this material, we wanted to be proactive, of course, and we asked the JPs to go ahead and take steps to have those books removed and just put behind a shelf or put them in a secure location where only adults can check those books out. Seems reasonable, right?
I don't know, Jennifer, that's pretty crazy.
Well, and there are so many people that have argued we're banning books, which it couldn't be further from the truth. But as we just discussed, it's just name calling.
Yeah.
But we're certainly not banning books. We haven't asked for anything to be removed from the library. We just want this material removed from the children's section. Some of these books are picture books, and it's gross. I mean, there's no other word. It's just gross. Yeah. And then some of these go into great detail about statutory rape, homosexual sex, the first time, how you can get an A by pleasuring your teacher. Detail things that, in my opinion, adults shouldn't even be reading. Certainly not children. So these are the kind of things that we have been fighting. And yes, we've had people actually all over the world trying to discourage us, but our people are more resolved than ever. And just most recently, we had the Quorum Court propose a resolution that is going to shift the oversight from the library board back to the county judge. And so he will then be able to have more of a say in the inner workings of the library. And once this law goes into effect, he will also have final say in actually removing some of the challenged books. So we're making progress.
Yeah, and that could really be a blueprint for other counties.
Yes, and we've talked with other counties, and anyone that has questions or is wanting to do something similar, please reach out to me, reach out to Saline County Republican Women, and we will be happy to help you.
And then also, both the Women in County Committee endorsed a candidate in the GOP chair race. Talk to us about that.
Yes, so there are two candidates for the Republican Party of Arkansas chair, and our Saline County Republican Committee and our Saline County Republican Women endorsed Sarah Dunklin. There were only just a couple of nays, I would say less than 5, who were opposed to this resolution. There were probably 200 people at the meeting and probably 5 who opposed it. And so it passed overwhelmingly. And then with the women, it passed unanimously. And Sarah Dunklin she is always approachable, always ready to help anyone that needs it. She is a true patriot that has really suffered some insurmountable pain at the hands of the rabid left, and she has kept standing and kept fighting, and she's the kind of person that we need leading this party. She has the experience. She's been a county chairman, she's been a district chairman, and if you attended our meeting just last Saturday, you can see what she is able to bring to the table, because she brought over 600 people, around 600 people to this fantastic, uplifting and encouraging meeting, and everyone that I spoke to that left just felt encouraged and ready to get back out there and fight for good and fight for freedom. She brought in Carrie Lake and a myriad of other incredible nationally recognized speakers. And I would say that's the kind of person that we need leading this party.
Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for all the work that you do and those in your county and Saline County that they do. Thanks for sharing this. And is there anything else you want to add before we let you go?
I believe that covers it. Although I will mention this, I'm very proud of my Saline County Republican Women because just last week we passed a resolution saying that women are biological women, XY chromosome women, and we're taking a stand on that issue. So we are not confused, even if the rest of the world may be. So
thank goodness for that. Thanks for joining us, Jennifer. I hope that you come back on again soon.
thank you, Jenny.